Now, if we have a large room, you can set up the area for the rulemaking session as a separate area before the simulation begins. So then all you have to do is say, okay, the planning session is over, now move to the rulemaking area, and it's over there. But if you have a smaller room, then you have to use the introduction area to serve two purposes, both as the introduction area and as a rulemaking area. And to make it appropriate for the rulemaking area, all you do is move these 3 chairs to the front facing the others. These are the top performer chairs. What we want to do is emphasize the hierarchical nature of this dysfunctional inherited organization that they inherited. And so the top performers are sitting up here, the 3 of them, facing the midders who are sitting here, and then in the peanut gallery in the back are the Greemers. And the top performers, as a rule, generally take it for granted that they should be sitting up the front and facing them. And the Greemers are very sensitive to the fact of how the chairs are set up as a rule. But basically what you want to do is set it up this way to emphasize the hierarchical nature of the simulation and point out the fact that the top performers are in charge.
We have to do some clarification. I think there was some misunderstanding.
Now they are at the beginning of their rulemaking session.
What we'd like to clarify is,
As we mentioned earlier, you give them the influence chips during the planning session so they get to get a feel for them and how many they have and everything. And then they bring them to this rulemaking session, and the top performers have 10 green and 10 red chips. These are the influence chips, these big red ones. Big green ones. That's okay. These are the influence chips, the big ones. The green are to vote yes, the red are to vote no. And they have to vote as a block. Each group votes as a block. And the way they vote is by putting their votes in this bag. So the top performers run the meeting, and at the time it comes to vote, they put their chips in and then ask the midders to put their chips in, and then their midders, and then they dump them all out on the floor and count them. It's important that you encourage them to vote, to put them on the floor, because up until this time, the Greemers and the midders probably don't know that the top performers have 10 chips, the midders have 5, and the Greemers have 4. So the top performers can overrule the midders and the Greemers. And if you have a secret ballot, or if you don't count it, or if you say everybody voted green, they don't get the fact that how the chips are distributed. So that's why we have them put them out on the floor. And that's often an aha experience. So the midders and the Greemers say, wait a minute, they've got 10 chips, we've got 5, they've got 4. Even if we combine our votes, we've only got 9 votes, they have the power. And you can talk about power all the time and say, these people are ahead of the organization, or they have the power, but they really don't get it in their gut until this point when they say, hey, you've got 10 chips, we got 5, and you got 4. Here they are in the rulemaking session. The Greemers are proposing a rule change. A proposal has been made, and they've decided to caucus before they vote on the proposed rule change.
You got
what's the top performer?
that looks like a heavy bag.
You have 5 more minutes, sir. Here they are counting the votes. In this case, the top performers outvoted the midders and the Greemers. Be sure to put the chips out and count them even if they are all green, so the mitters and greeners will know that the top performers can outvote them. Here they are in the debriefing session. They've been divided into groups and are discussing one of the questions from the book. Notice each group has a couple of greeners, a top performer, and a mitter. One of the things that's kind of underlying this that wasn't so apparent to you is that we were keeping track of the total points each round scored. So round one we had 84 points. I'm reviewing the points they earned as a total group as part of the debriefing. If they were to optimize the systems, they would be able to earn 141 points. They sub-optimized the system the first round with 84 points, but improved to 104 points by the third round. Blocking or not using them at all.
We could use some spray paint.
Yes, or explosive. Now here's the world from the point of view of the mitter. Here I'm taking them on a tour of the boards to show them what the world looks like from the greener's point of view, the mitter's point of view, and the top performer's point of view. This is their world.